my name is Mrita Naramurthy. My Machika number is D70706 and we're gonna present about regulation under Petroleum Safety Measurement Act 1983 Act 302. Now I'm gonna explain about what is the arrangement regulation under Petroleum Safety Measurement. Okay, they have two parties, that is preliminary. The second party is transportation of petroleum by pipeline. They have 17 types of regulation. Party 1 has 2 types of regulation, that is citation of commencement, and regulation 2 is interpretation. Party 2 continues the third regulation. Okay, regulation 3 is application and non-application. Regulation 4 is design and act. Shall meet requirement. Regulation 5 is permission of installment, and regulation 6 is permission of operating. Regulation 7 is maximum allowable pressure, and regulation 8 is records, and regulation 9 is inspection, and regulation 10 is notice. Regulation 11 is appeal, and regulation 12 is fatalities to be avoided, and regulation 13 is danger occurrence, and regulation 14 is no motivation without permission. Regulation 15 is exiting pipeline and exemption, and regulation 16 is penalty, and last but not least is regulation 17 is repeal. Those are the arrangement regulation under the Petroleum Safety Measurement. And for further information, let's go check to my friend.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Omar Azim. I'm audiometric at Dixon 1911054. So I'll be explaining about regulation under Factory and Machinery Act 1967. So this act has 20 act, which means is Factory and Machinery, Noise Exposure, Revocation Regulation 2019, and then Steam Boiler and Unfire Pressure Vessel, Abdomen Regulation 2070, then Steam Boiler and Unfire Pressure Vessel Regulation 1970, which means Fault Schedule Inspecting Authority Abdomen 2014, and then Mineral Dust Regulation, and then Noise Exposure Regulation 1989, Building Operation and Work of Engineering Construction Safety Regulation 1986, Asbestos Regulation 1986, Leaks Regulation 1984, Comfortable Offence Regulation 1978. Next is Notification of Fitness and Inspection Regulation 1970, Certificate of Competency Examination Regulation 1970, and then Administration Regulation 1970, and Safety, Health and Welfare Regulation 1970, Fencing of Machinery and Safety Regulation 1970, Electrical Passenger and Good Lift Regulation 1970, and then Steam Boiler and Unfire Pressure Vessel Regulation 1970, Person in Charge Abdomen Regulation Special Scheme of Inspection, and last is Risk-Based Inspection Regulation and Person in Charge Regulation 1970, Component of Offence. So this is the act of the regulation under Factory and Machinery Act 1967.
So what is the in this regulation? Factory is the act that means any premise or part of a premise where is within the clause or cartilage or precaution of the premise or part that of person are employed in manual labor in any process for additional to the making, altering, repairing or maintaining, sorting, finishing, cleaning, washing, breaking, demolishing, constructing, reconstructing, fitting, refitting, adjusting or adapting of any article or part thereof. And so they say work is carried on by way of trade for the purpose of gain and incidentally to any business so carry on, and whether or not they are factory by reason of the foregoing definition. The expression factory also include the following premise in which person are employed in manual labor. So the any yard or dry dock including the person clear off in which ship or vessel are reconstruct, repair, refitted, finished or broken up. So any premise in which the business of washing or filling bottle or container or packing article is carried on incidentally to the purpose of any factory. And then any premise in which the business of hooking, plating, lapping, making up or packing of yarn or cloth is carried on. So any laundry carry on as ancillary to another business or incidentally to the purpose of any public institution. Any premise in which the construction, reconstruction or repair of locomotives, vehicle or other plant for use for transport purpose is carried on ancillary to a transport undertaking or under industrial or commercial undertaking. Any premise in which printing by letterpress, lithography, photograph or other similar is the process of bookbinding is carried on by way of trade or for purpose of gain of ancillary to another business, so carry on. And then this any premise in which the production of cinematograph film is carried on by way of trade or for purpose of gain. And then any premise used for the storage of gas in gas holder having a storage capacity of not less than 140 cubic meters. So any premise, place or space where any building operation or works of engineering construction are carried out, and any premise belonging to or in the occupation of the federal government, of the government of any state or of any local authority or other public authority which will be a factory within the meaning of this act, but for paragraph clause B but does not include with any premise used for the purpose of housing locomotive or vehicle where only cleaning, washing, running, repair or minor adjustment are carried out, or any premise where 5 or less person carry on any work in which machinery is not used, notwithstanding that the premise by virtue or would constitute a factory within the meaning of this section. So any line of landing which is used in connection with and for the purpose of factory shall be deemed to be part of the factory. In subsection 3, any pipeline used for transporting dangerous substance which may cause fire, explosion or adverse health effect to any person with other than petroleum or petroleum product which is used in connection with and for the purpose of a factory shall be deemed to be part of the factory. So the subsection 4 for the purpose of subsection 3, which mean pipelines, means the physical facility or any part of the physical facility through which dangerous substance which may cause fire, explosion or adverse health effect to any person with other than petroleum or petroleum product in the form of liquid or vapor or any combination of liquid or vapor are transported and include pipes, pump, compressor, meter, regulation and fabricated. So under the Regulation Factory and Machinery Act 1967, they have come out safety, health and welfare on part 2. So I will be explain about that. Based on the provision relating to safety, without prejudice to any law with respect to local authority in respect of any factory, the following provision relating to safety shall apply, with foundation and floor shall be of sufficient strength to sustain the load for which they are designed, and no foundation or floor shall be overloaded. For roof shall be of sufficient strength to carry where necessary suspend load, and then all floor is working level, platform, deck and stairway, passenger gangway, ladder and step should be of safe construction so as to prevent a risk of person falling, and structurally sound so as to prevent a risk of collapse, and shall be properly maintain and keep as far as responsibly practicably free from any loose material and in a non-slippery condition. So this means reasonably practicably should be provided, maintained and used so as to ensure safe access to any place at which any person has any time to work. So every opening, some pit or fixed vessel in the floor or working level should be securely covered or securely fenced so as to prevent risk without prejudice to any law relating to public health. In respect of any factory, the following provision relating to health of persons shall apply. Every factory shall be kept in a clean state and free from offensive effluent arising from any drain, sanitary convenience or other source, and shall be cleaned at such time and by such method as may be prescribed, and this method may include line washing or color washing, painting, varnishing, disinfecting or deodorizing.
Right, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zakun Zikri bin Muhammad Zamri. I'm holding my ticket number DSAM 2008-067. And today I will explain my conclusion about oil and gas and factory and machinery. Alright, so conclusion number 1, oil and gas. Given the perilous nature of the oil and gas industry, the need for implementation of an efficient occupational safety and health management system is important for improving safety and health performance. Many countries have extensively participated in it by making strict and obligatory OSH standards and legislation. Because of the regulatory compliance pressure, the principal responsibility of ensuring operational safety and sustainability is placed on the oil and gas industry. Occupational safety and health management systems not only provide a systematic and synchronized proactive approach to managing occupational health and safety risks, but also helps in defining strategies for implementing control actions, performance substantiation, resource mapping and competency management. Moreover, it also helps in enhancing organization brand image in today's competitive scenario. Alright, for my second conclusion about Factory and Machinery. Factories and Machinery Act 1967 or Act 139 is to provide for the control of factories on matters relating to the safety, health and welfare of persons, and the registration and inspection of machinery. Some high-risk machinery such as boilers, unfire pressure vessel, passenger lifts, and other lifting equipment such as mobile cranes, tower cranes, passenger hoists, overhead travelling cranes, and gondolas must be certified and inspected by DOSH. All factories and general machinery must be registered with DOSH before they can be installed and operate in Malaysia. Right, DOSH enforce 16 regulations under FMA 1967. So the first one is Electric Passengers and Goods Lift Regulation 1970. Number 2, Fencing of Machinery and Safety Regulations 1970. Number 3, Notification Certificate of Fitness and Inspection Regulation 1970. Number 4, Person in Charge Regulation 1970. Number 5, Safety, Health and Welfare Regulation 1970. Number 6, Steam Boilers and Unfire Pressure Vessel Regulation 1970. Number 7, Certificates of Competency Examination Regulation 1970. Number 8, Administration Regulation 1970. Number 9, Compounding of Offences Rules 1978. Number 10, Compoundable Offences Regulation 1978. Number 11, Lead Regulation 1984. Number 12, Asbestos Process Regulations 1986. Number 13, Building Operations and Works of Engineering Constructions Safety Regulation 1987. 14, Mineral Dust Regulation 1989. And the last one is Noise and Regulation 1984. And that's all from me. Thank you so much.